This city should have sunk centuries ago. It was built on mud, held up by wood, surrounded by salt water. No walls to defend it, no farmland to feed it, no solid ground beneath it. And yet, Venice did not disappear. It became powerful. How does a swamp turn into a civilization? To answer that, we have to go back to fear. In the 5th century, northern Italy was collapsing. The Western Roman Empire was weakening. Cities were no longer safe. Armies moved across the mainland. Among them were the Huns. Later came the Lombards. For ordinary families, the choice was simple: stay and risk everything, or run. They ran, not inland, not toward stronger cities. They ran toward the sea. The Venetian lagoon was not inviting. It was shallow, cold, unstable, small islands of mud barely above the tide. This was not a place to build a future. It was a place to hide. And that was enough, because armies could not easily follow. Horses sank into mud. Large ships ran aground on sandbars. The lagoon was confusing. Tides shifted constantly. To outsiders, it was chaos. To refugees, it was protection. Water became their wall. At first, they did not plan a city. They built shelters, wooden huts, temporary docks, but temporary has a strange way of becoming permanent. If you survive 1 year, you prepare for the next. If you survive 10, you start to build differently. That is when they did something almost impossible. They drove wooden piles deep into the mud. Not dozens, not hundreds, millions. Tree trunks hammered down until they reached firmer soil beneath. Underwater, without oxygen, the wood did not rot. It hardened. Stone platforms were placed above, then brick, then marble. Slowly, the swamp began to rise. Island by island, canal by canal, Venice was not built in one moment. It accumulated. But safety alone does not create greatness. Geography gave Venice something more. It sat between Europe and the East, between Latin, Christendom, and Byzantium, between northern trade routes and Mediterranean sea lanes. It was already in the water, so it learned to master the water. Shipyards expanded, merchants traveled farther. Venice stopped hiding. It started trading. Over centuries, it transformed into the Republic of Venice, a state unlike others, not ruled by a king, but governed by merchants. Its navy protected its trade funded its beauty reinforced its power. The city of mud became a maritime empire, and then something remarkable happened. Venice stopped looking temporary. The Grand Canal curved like a slow river of stone. Palaces reflected in the water. Artists like Titian and Tintoretto filled its churches with color and light. Visitors no longer saw refuge. They saw magnificence. But beneath every palace were wooden piles. Beneath every cathedral was mud. Venice never escaped its origin. It simply mastered it. For over 1,000 years, the Republic endured. Then, in 1797, Napoleon Bonaparte ended its independence. The Republic dissolved. Venice became part of larger empires, eventually part of Italy. Its political power faded, but the city remained. Because Venice was never just a government, it was an adaptation. And adaptation does not disappear easily. Today, the threat is different. No invading armies, no rival fleets. Now the danger is the water itself. High tides, sea levels rise, storms intensify. The lagoon that once protected Venice now challenges it. So once again, Venice responds with engineering. Massive movable barriers known as moats rise from the seabed during extreme tides, holding back the Adriatic, buying the city more time, just as wooden piles once did. And this is the quiet truth. Venice was never foolish. It was strategic. The swamp was not weakness, it was defense. The water was not an obstacle, it was opportunity. What looked unstable became strength. What looked temporary became permanent. What looked like survival became civilization. So why build a city in water? Because sometimes the safest place is the one no one wants. Because geography can protect the patient. Because innovation often begins with fear. Venice did not defy nature, it negotiated with it, it adapted to it. And for 15 centuries it endured because of that choice. A choice made by refugees standing on wet sand who decided not to leave. And that decision is still holding the city up today.